All right, hey guys, this week on Coffee for Closers, we got a special episode. We're talking, Rick and I, we were chatted a little bit about a pretty interesting topic all about summer, the summer doldrums, what's going on with it, what the best plan is for looking at the numbers, getting comfortable with the investments, how summer is different than, say, fall, spring, other than just weather, of course, although weather does play a role. But we got into some interesting topics today. Make sure you stay to the end. There's a lot of good, juicy stuff at the end on how to get most comfortable with summer prospecting and how it'll yield you a much better fall than maybe years past. So anyway, thanks, everybody. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, everybody, welcome to Coffee for Closers. This week, what is it? First week of July, right after July 4th, we're recording this. We're in the studio here with co-host Mr. Rick Kallmeyer. Yeah, talking about summer, midsummer for everybody. We're talking about the doldrums of summer, the marketing downside. People are on vacation, coming back from vacation. Prospects less likely to move money. Interesting topic. Yeah, figured we should talk on it. It's the middle of summer. People need to listen to, I think people need more motivation in summer for whatever reason. I think it's nice. I mean, in Florida, we get this kind of like backwards, like, why wouldn't you keep working in summer? Because it's so hot out. It's like not like we're going out and doing anything.
No, this time of the year, it's like our winter, right? It's like, if I can be inside from 11 to 3, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for Florida advisors that are like, I cruise through summers, okay.
Yeah.
But if you're working nationally or you're virtual, you got to understand that prospects in night or areas that have 9-10 months of winter,
terrible.
Our Northeasterners, our Midwesterners up north, they're outside every day they can and relishing it. And so, what is it that we do? I mean, what do most folks do?
Yeah.
And I don't know. My general thought to summer, at least in my short time in this business, has been the most successful advisors just accept the fact that they're going to have, a deviation from their normal first quarter, second quarter results, and know that it's not worth not having. I'm going to have a higher cost per
client acquisition
cost during the summer, but it's better than the result of just not having any expense and not yielding any new prospect.
Yep.
Because, again, I think what people have an issue with in summer potentially is not the top of the pipeline, it's the bottom of the pipeline. People don't generally close in summer. They're hard to wrangle up.
Yep.
And so they start to feel like, oh, well, I shouldn't even prospect if I can't close them. But really, you should just be harvesting. You should be trying to harvest things for the end of summer. And you can't stop filling the top of your pipeline just because one of the bottom sectors is starting to slack a little bit.
Yeah, I think you have a good point there. I think it's a really like self-fulfilling prophecy of like it's hard to close or get like people like focused enough to move money and close a business.
Yeah.
So the bottom of your funnel kind of falls out.
Yeah.
And because of that, you stop pulling people into the top of the funnel because they're not going to make it all the way through in July, right?
It's not in the time horizon you're used to, at least.
Right. And then it's like at that same point, if I'm not going to do any marketing to bring people in because I'm not going to be able to close people, then what am I doing in the office? And I might as well take my vacation too.
Yeah.
Right. And it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of being like, because the clients aren't working, I'm just going to take some time off too.
But okay. I keep getting the vacation thing, but how long are you taking vacations for? Like, if you're an advisor, like, oh, by all means, man, take your family vacation. Go out for a week. Do that. But are you spending months away?
The whole, July off, right? Yeah.
I get that clients are going to be on vacations, but sure, you could align your vacation with, one of their vacations.
Yeah.
But or do it on the most common, okay, we're in July 4th week right now. A lot of folks take this entire week off during the summer, do some sort of planned vacation for the whole week because, again, it's only missing 4 days of the actual work week.
Yeah.
Good bang for your buck. But other than that, there's 11 other weeks of summer that you're here and you're just not going to prospect because they're going on vacations?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, they're not going to close, but let's just think of the funnel, right? You've got new prospects. You've got qualified prospects that are moving through their first appointment to the second. You got second appointments, which is like your proposal, and typically a closing appointment in your third, right? Something like that. One advisor might have one longer. One advisor might have one shorter. Okay. The idea should be that again, we talk about preempting objections. At least in our opinion, what I've seen our top guys do, they start to harvest stuff. Say, look, what's your plans? So they do the event, right? So they do the workshop knowing that they'll probably have like 5 less registrations or 10 less registrations, whatever it is, and know that they'll yield maybe at the end of everything 3 or 4 less appointments from a workshop that they would typically, if you were yielding 10 appointments per workshop that you do, you're yielding 6 to 7 appointments now.
Yep.
Right? So, okay, that's fine. Of the 6, it's like if I find that there's quality in the prospect after the workshop and they come in for an appointment, right? After that first appointment, you got to get their summer plans in order. Say, look, for most folks, the summer is a sacred time, especially in our area. Preempt it, right? I bring the objection out. Then saying, look, I don't know what your summer looks like, but it's time to start getting some plans together. For us, a lot of folks want to enjoy the summer. It's not the best time to work through finances and everything like that. But again, you could leverage the market situation right now. You could leverage a bunch of different stuff. It's important for us to get some ducks in a row. What's your family's plan for the rest of the summer so we can start to get these things in line for you? Oh, well, we're going to be doing this, and then Johnny's got camp every day and whatever. Or most of these people are pre-retirement age, so they don't have kids in camp, I guess.
Yeah.
But they do have trips
taking
that
time
they want
off
to go.
Yep.
They might take 2 vacations during summer if they're in an area like the Northeast.
Yeah.
Fine. Let's carve out an hour or so for us to get back together, work through some of these situations, and we'll just plan that if we need to make any changes, that we make it at the most ideal situation where you guys really have time to think about everything that's going on and not worried about this while you're about to go on vacation for a week or what have you, because that's
or
what
just
I
getting
find.
back from it, right?
I find a lot of folks come in, get the process started, and then go on vacation and then have to redo everything, or things changed over that time period and priorities shifted. And so, again, preempt the situation that you know it's summer. And I see good advisor after good advisor doing that, where they know summer is summer, and they preempt and explain that to the clients and say, let's not start and embark on this journey until we are done with this situation. And then they've got great harvesting tools built into their practice.
Just gonna say that,
That's the key.
It's like leave yourself in a situation where you have a good reason you're comfortable going back to the client with, right? You know, if you feel like somebody's like wishy-washy or, you know, may or may not move through with things, you know, they're going out of town for a week on Monday, it's like maybe don't go for that closing appointment where you're not going to get the app. You're just trying to like a hard kind of soft close. You know what I'm saying? Like you really aren't going to get the job done, get the app signed by the time they go away. Right. And if you're not, then do like a soft close. Be like, look, is this the idea you're looking for? This is what we can do. This will really help your situation. Blah blah blah. All right, you guys are going to go off in the next week. On Monday when we get back, we'll set another appointment to cover this in more detail. Think of some questions while you're out. Right. Like leave it more of soft opens to have a reason to come back rather than shooting yourself in the foot and then being like, well, you know, the client really said they wanted to do it, but, you know, do I just call them back or what do I do, right? Like, give yourself a reason to get back in touch with the clients.
Yeah, and a lot of folks won't do that.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's like this is the easiest solve for those guys and gals that, you know, said, oh, I've been doing 5 or 6 or 7 million a year and I want to hit that 10 million mark or whatever. Yep. It's like most of the times in the analysis, if they really think back, the most unutilized time is that summertime. Yeah. And it's precious to them. But again, we're here to work every single week. Yeah. We're not here to take months off at a time. Yeah. And a lot of times it's these are the seeds that you harvest come early fall. And so what ends up happening is people's August and September, end of August, September, early October isn't what it should be of what the top producers in the business do.
Because you're not laying seeds in the summer.
Because you're not laying seeds in the summer.
Absolutely.
Yes, inaction does happen in summer, but it's not worth not doing it because my September and my October are not going to be good enough for me to float the rest of the year. What do most people do? Have a great first quarter.
Yep.
Great second quarter.
Yep.
And then third quarter comes,
Yeah.
and people generally take it off. July, August, and then September,
October, September, October, try to claw it all back and make it a good half of the year.
But it's a little too late.
Yeah.
When does the majority of prospects close? Do your research on your business. Majority of prospects in our grand, law of large numbers is between the 30-day and the 90-day mark. Right? So if we're doing 30 days from July 1st, when does that put? August 1st, right? If I'm doing 30 days from August 1st, let's say summer's not there, right? Let's say I didn't do any prospecting. My first prospect is September.
Yep.
September comes through.
Yep.
Their closing or their third appointment is 3 weeks from that day. That's the end of September. Maybe longer, to be honest. So 30 days beyond that is early October.
Yep.
So I'm closing business for really all of my prospects in September. I'm closing business early October. And all of my business, all my workshops I do latter half of October, right before, I got to rush one in before Halloween and right before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
It's like people don't realize that those workshops, unless you're working well into the holiday season, what's harder than keeping prospects focused during summer?
Yeah, the holidays.
Keeping them focused during holidays.
Yep. I mean, you got obviously Thanksgiving a week is gone, scratched.
The federal market's outside of this because the federal market, those are working folks that have a particular job that a lot of folks want to end in December, right? They have a goal to end in December at the end of the year, and it just makes them marks a good transitional period.
Yeah. But still, I mean, you still have to get that done in the first 2 weeks, right? Good luck trying to get a hold of somebody Christmas, New Year's time, right?
Oh, yeah. And then you're 2 weeks into January, before you can really even reapproach them.
Yep.
So, like these summer months, if I'm doing July, 30 days from July is August. Okay, let's say I don't close them. I got a good harvest. Let me push that to the 90-day mark and let me close them. I can hold them their attention for 90 days.
Yep.
Really, if I'm good, I can hold their attention for 90 days. And I can put them in the best time to close, which is September.
Yep.
To rally at the end of the year. You will gain yourself a whole nother quarter of production that you've unseen because you haven't prospected during summer by just doing these workshops where the plan isn't to close as much business per se, but to get as many prospects that I can set up to harvest September and October. And then, do your workshops that you normally do during September and October. Those are out of after hours anyway.
Yep.
And you'll find yourself with a much fuller calendar come October and early November, end of October, early November, before Thanksgiving even rallies with closing appointments rather than first and seconds.
Yep.
Because I hate watching advisors struggle to close business in that 2 week period between Thanksgiving and
yes, it's
Christmas.
Rough. It's terrible. It's a hard time. You have so much going on, and it just it's rough. Another thing too, like now the world's moved a lot more virtual. I think a lot of that has changed, or at least there's an opportunity to change a lot of that, right? It's like if you're in, Jersey, or if you're in wherever, Minnesota, right, where it's cold for a good portion of the year, right? And then you roll to your summer months where you have maybe a month and a half of actual good weather where it's not raining or snowing. You still have a lot of time during those 2 months to work Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Florida, the rest of the South, where none of us want to be outside. We're all still working, right?
Shift your prospecting.
Right? We have a virtual world now, right?
Point. Actually, that is such a good point I hadn't even thought about.
We're in a different world now. You don't have to just do a workshop in your area to collect. It's like, continue doing those, like collect, harvest, right? But start talking in areas where people are still working, that people still want to meet and talk to somebody right now.
Yeah.
Right?
More reason for you to have a virtual element to your prospect. Yeah. Shift focus, go down. I was talking with the guy not too long ago, Steve Doucette, about his prospecting, and he was asking that same question. He's like, well, I don't know if the same sentiment is the same in Florida, but I was thinking about doing a workshop in Florida for one of his downline advisors because I figured Florida would be the opposite of Chicago.
Yeah.
And that was true. I mean, that's basically what we told him. So, give it a shot, man. Yeah, absolutely. We don't see a dip down here.
Yeah.
But again, if you're virtual or you're in the federal program, it's like that is the point. It's like we're not having any dip in the virtual world as far as appointments go, but that is beside the point of people's ability to close. I don't know that advisors should really care about. I don't know that advisors, if they did workshops today, would see a noticeable difference at the top of their pipeline from not a huge difference. I guess the standard registration rate between now and in the fall
March or something,
is not much different.
Yeah.
Right? Like 5-6 registrants.
Yeah.
Different. 10 registrants at the max. Different. And so when you're getting 70 something registrants for a workshop on average, which is, that's what the average was for June, 72.
Yeah.
72 registrants. Yeah, 50 of them, 45 of them are going to show. But that's not the problem in summer. Summer's problem is people's ability to close.
That's a follow-up, right? I mean, imagine, right? It's like you went from...
But if they're in summer, I guess to your point, right? If they're in summer, then they're... I don't know. I still think people plan their vacations because of school and all these things. Like, they're still leaving.
I think so as well. I think the true, like, whatever, week out vacation for a client is part of it. I think a bigger part of it is, like, I did a workshop a week ago, right? I've already talked to the guy. We had our first meeting on Monday. He wants me to come back Thursday. I spent 2 hours each night of my free time getting all my financial statements together, right? And we're supposed to meet on Saturday or Friday or something like that. I took a half day on Friday or whatever. I don't work Friday, so I'm supposed to meet him on Friday on my day off of work. Got all these documents together, and it's like, you know what? Like, it's a great day outside. I think I'd rather just go to the beach, Like, I think there's a lot of that of...
No, there's definitely that. And I guess my point is, because advisors have experienced that for so long, they don't want to do and spend the money.
Yes, yeah. But sorry, I was talking client perspective rather than...
But I think the math on the other side of this is not much different. Like the customer acquisition cost is not much higher to do workshops or work a lead program or appointment program in the summer than it is in the fall. Yeah. It's just that our incentives change as an advisor. And it's an important time to stay focused. Yeah. Yes, you're going to have more wrenches. More people are going to go longer to close, right? The time horizon of the life cycle of the sale is extended.
Yep. And frankly, if you don't have the follow-up to keep up with those life cycle, then your client acquisition is going to go up. Yeah. If they're supposed to come to a second or third meeting and don't show up and you don't follow up with them or try to get them back in or they're supposed to show up on Thursday and you call them back next Thursday, right? It's like, if you don't have a good follow-up system to get back in, your acquisition will climb. But if you do it properly...
maybe we should do a show about that, how to stay in touch with somebody. But again, you've got two things working against you. One, the length of time is longer, right? And two, you've got more dollars invested in this person potentially as well because less people registered just in the first place.
Yep.
And so I think that worries some advisors, right? But again, all the more reason to have a less than average customer acquisition cost during the fall and spring, fall, spring, and fall and spring, really. Fall, spring, and winter, I was going to say, too. Yeah. Try and doing programs that are much more cost-effective during those times, have a shorter life cycle as far as the sales process goes, and then in summer be willing to accept that, look, this is the law of averages. Yeah, I'm going to have a longer prospect, but I've got to have good systems that help me harvest these things, preempting objections, preempting what I know to be the worry part of summer, and then setting myself up. Because, again, like we're saying, in the beginning of the year, you do some planning. It's so easy for us to just divide things by 12. I'm going to do, this is how many workshops I want to do. I want to do 24 workshops, and I'm going to do 2 a month, and this is what I average as far as attendance. It's like, no, this is what you've averaged, not doing 2 per month, doing 6 all in the fall, and then coasting and getting referrals for the rest of the year. What if you were to do 24 workshops, what would it best look like? And how, that's the true business planning, time and time again. True business planning is not knowing, hey, when I do a workshop, I get 2 deals from it. No. True business planning is knowing when I do a workshop, How many deals do I get in the first 30 days? How many deals do I get in between 30 to 90 days? How many deals do I get from 90 to 180 days?
Yeah.
How many appointments do I get from 180 and 365?
Yeah.
How many of from that workshop do I get 2-3 years or like a year plus from now? And understanding like what's reasonable to expect off of every workshop, and then you really know what the long-term investment is of one individual workshop.
Not what I closed this month or off that immediate thing, right?
And then also referrals, like how many typical referrals do I get? And those are the analytics that you need to be doing at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Because when people start to see, it's like, okay, yeah, when I do a summer workshop, the 1 to 30 day, this is where the juice comes in from this kind of a conversation. When you got that kind of analytic going on your business, you look at your numbers and you say, when a June or July workshop yields me a much lesser close ratio on a 1 to 30 day, but in the 30 to 90 day categories, I make up what I lost.
Yep.
Or in the 90 to 180 days, I make up what I lost. And that's what contributes to you not having just a great end of this year, but having a great start to the next year and a great, middle of next year, and having more referrals. And the more you do more consistent marketing, the better you're going to have as far as a reputation. It's like it starts to act like branding.
Yep.
I mean, that's what good business planning is knowing your numbers to a T.
I think absolutely. If there's something you should be putting in a CRM system, it's that information, not whether you left a voicemail or not.
Well,
right?
I mean, like we were just setting up for our internal, so a couple of new internal guys that joined over at Megastar that work on Lee's financial practice, setting up their CRM system. One of the biggest trackers I put into that CRM was life cycle of the sale. How long has this sale been in this category? And it's just literally a timer. Like, okay, and at 90 days, drop this sucker into this next category. At this, drop it here until that shifts from basically from like hot prospect, with whatever amount of assets to hot prospect, what appointment they're in, how much assets they're at, and how much time in this category have they been here. Eventually, I know this is going to, if I've got good systems, it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Yep.
I'm going to close this prospect. If they are continuing to talk with me.
It's never a measure of like somebody, it's generally, most of the time, especially the people we bring on board, it's not a measure of like sales skill. It's generally follow up and persistency to it, right?
Oh, for sure. And there's a delicate balance. People don't want it to be annoying, but then on top of it is, it becomes costly to maintain so many relationships if they're not yielding.
Automated as well.
But you have to get comfortable with what that yield is, the time to the yield. And so if it's a year and you feel like, okay, well, this prospect, I know at a certain likelihood this prospect is going to yield over a year from now, then I need to know what's the least, how do I keep my costs down in maintaining this relationship with this person for that length of time. But you need to know that, again, looking at the analytics in the summer, just try and keep it on topic here, it's not that summer workshops are worse or summer prospecting is worse. It's that the time horizon of the sale is shifted to the next column. From the first 30 days, you usually lose those sales, and they rear defined in the next category.
Yep.
And you just have to be you have to be good enough to be able to maintain that relationship for that amount of time. And a lot of times it's just, again, like preempting the situation.
Yeah. Setting yourself up to, again, have something to come back to, be prepped for it. I mean, walking into September with 10 lukewarm appointments is a lot better than trying to get things up and rolling September 1st and being like, all right, now that we're out of June, July, and August, or July and August, depending where you are, right? You've got somewhat of a head start.
Yeah. Anyway, good stuff, man. I think that's a good food for thought for folks. We should definitely do a show about this kind of analytics. That's a good one for us to get in with Jacob. It's just kind of, I don't know, some sort of life cycle of how to follow up with somebody, how to do a good business plan, those types of things. Maybe a separate video. That's not a coffee for closers, but that should be some sort of video just like, hey, this is how you analyze your numbers.
Yeah.
And just follow that through, And so, again, that's what a business owner like those watching should know is their numbers to a T, and how long it takes to close a deal, and anyway, you'd be much more willing to make those investments.
Yeah, absolutely. If 100%, right? If you told somebody like, hey, look, if you do this workshop in July, you're going to close 3-4 people, not in July, not in August, but eventually when they wrap back around in September, 100%, who wouldn't, right? Like, I know this is going to come back around. My ROI is still going to be the same.
If you did this 2 hours of work today in July, it will yield you 3 new deals in September. Would you do it willingly?
Even though I know normally does it in July. Normally in July you'd do it, you'd get it. This one's going to be in September. Would you still do the program? Yes.
And if not, what would you do?
Nothing? Just not get those? Yeah.
Just not get those?
Yeah.
Because that's
the point.
Inaction is the worst decision. Unless it's quality family time, and you see that value there, then of course. This is if you're trying to
should be 2.5 months, right?
Yeah, 2.5 months, man. Yeah, well, for some, sure. For some, sure. Yeah, that's their goal is to work less, and sure,
true.
Accomplishing those goals, then that's just a focus on something else.
Yeah.
Let's do something else. Then summer is guarded and set our goals reasonably for outside those times. But for a lot of folks that are like, I'm game to work it. I just want to know that there's a yield there. Well, let us show it to you just through numbers. And anyway, you can call into Megastar if you have questions on that. We'd happily walk you through how we can get you those analytics and help you kind of plan those numbers out and see the investment there.
Absolutely.
Anyway. Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next time here on Coffee Closers. Thanks, Rick.
Pleasure. Always.
See you guys. Bye.